So about 10 minutes before or so recording this video, I realized that I am afraid of letting people in. I have been sitting and thinking for a while about, or at least today, or the thoughts have occurred before, but today at least I have been sitting and thinking about why is it that I always end up ruining relationships, or not in the sense of ruining, but letting them just fiddle out in the sand? And I think that the reason is that I am afraid of letting people in, that I have this way of holding people out in stretched arms because I'm like, please don't come any closer. um, because I'm afraid of showing my flaws and showing who I actually am. Because if people don't like me for my flaws or something in the sense of that, I think. But maybe let's try and deep a little bit down in it and see what we can find. I actually had planned to talk about why I stopped drinking alcohol, but I'm not so much in the mood today to giving a lecture and such. So I was like, when I realized this, I was like, oh, this could actually be pretty fun to talk about. Not fun, but that I wanted to talk about it just for the pure reason that I would like to talk about it or to share it. I just when I realized it a little bit ago, I was just like, this is what I want to talk about too. And I don't know why. I just feel like talking about it, talking about myself. Maybe that's just what I want to do today. Um, so I have been, I think a lot about myself, about why I do the things I do, and the flaws I have, and so on. And occurring flaw or thing that I have thought about is my kind of lone wolf syndrome or thing I have going, that I kind of like to doing things on my own and not sharing much with people. And the way that I just thought that I've had a lot of friends in my life, so on. I'm 26, and I mean have through school and sports and other activities and so on, have gotten a lot of friends, but always, having it fizzle out or running out in the sand. And there's also you could say a reason, which is that it was convenient to be friends at the time because we had school together, or I played a lot of soccer, so we played soccer together and we saw multiple times a week. And then when we stopped, it was like, why keep bothering? But I kind of have this feeling why it happens, not every time, but the majority of the time, I would say 99% of the time, that I just don't keep connected to people. And hey, let's meet up, and hey, let's do this, and like that. And I think it is, as I just said, that I might have realized that it's because I am afraid of showing myself. And I have this feeling inside of myself that I don't think people actually like me. And where this comes from, I realized that the thing about that that I also have this belief that people don't like me comes from a time where back in school, during my early adolescence years, like, 13, 14, 15 years old, something like that, back in seventh and eighth grade, I was, I was not keeping moving, or so to say, with my classmates, my friends. They started caring much about how they looked, their hair, their clothes, and also caring more about girls, where I was like, man, can we just play soccer, football again? What's the meaning? And I didn't care about my clothes, my style, or my hair. I mean, I've had for the majority of life, I've had the same hairstyle, and then I changed it uh, in my teens and had that hairstyle for a lot of years, and then I changed to this short hairstyle um, about little more than a year ago, and I love this. The first hairstyle that I actually love having is this, where it's so short. It's so practical. It's fantastic. I love it. Um, Not only is it practical, it's also I like my look. That's it. Um, but yeah, back to the topic. I didn't like or didn't follow along. And because of that, I got insecure about myself, and I had this feeling that people didn't want to talk to me or hang out with me because I was different and didn't follow along with these trends. Or I mean, I think it's pretty normal for kids to, or young people to suddenly go different places than what they used to, getting more from kid to teenager and then from teenager to adult, so on. But I don't know if I was later in that development, but I didn't follow along there and was kind of not talking with a lot of my classmates in a time I cannot remember how long. I think something between half a year to a year, where I heard about them hanging out all the time, and I was like just playing soccer and playing video games at home, and it really hit me hard, and I realized some months ago that that might be the reason why I have this feeling that, or always have this question mark, why do you want to hang out with me? Why do you want to spend time with me? I don't understand. You should not be liking me. That's like the eternal voice inside of me saying this because, or at least I think because I have this limiting belief about myself, which is so stupid that I have this, because I know it's not true, but apparently deep down, I don't know it's true because I still have it. I still have it that I feel like, why do people want to hang out? And then I might think that's why I don't reach out to people, because I don't want to bother them. Like, if they don't like me, so why would they spend time with me? And, they don't reach out to me as well. So that's like confirming my limiting belief that they actually don't like me, even though it's not true. I also know that everyone's busy. I'm busy myself. But it's just, I remember I heard this in a book not so long ago, some months ago, where he was like, when you have a limiting belief about yourself, something that has happened to you in your childhood or early adolescence, then you find, or your mind try to find more proof to that this belief is true, even though it's some weird shit and weird proof is that it doesn't make sense that it would be true. But your mind sees it and it connects to that, so the limiting belief just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And breaking that cycle, I was like, man, that sounds easy, but it's not easy. I found out it's not easy. I thought I had broken it, in truth, until I just sat here today and thought for a while. And why this all happened was because I was early in the gym today, and there was not many in the gym. It's Sunday. There was like 5 people and me, something like that. And there was a hot girl, a pretty girl. And we ended up working out close to each other. And I was like, man, should I ask her out? And then I was like, nah, she might not like me, yeah, even so why bother? So I didn't. And that was what started all these thoughts, like, why didn't I do it? I didn't even give it a shot. I mean, I have done it before, walked up to girls, but today it was like, no, man, not gonna happen. And kind of regretted it and not so. For the reason that, I mean, I would like to have talked to her to get to know her, but I'm also like, man, I'm just cozy alone. It's fine. So that's going back to the kind of the lone wolf syndrome, or what you call it, that I like spending time alone. And I think it might comes down to that I have been quite a lot alone in my life, in growing up and so on, as both as a child, being home just playing video games because I enjoyed it, and also um, here after I broke up with my girlfriend, what, 5 years ago? Yeah, it's actually 5 years ago now. Also been spending, of course, been spending time with friends as well, but also spending time alone because I enjoy my own company. And that might come down to that I am introverted, or more introverted than extroverted, where I just like my own company, like spending time alone, and that's where I get my energy so I can handle other people. And that might also be is today, because it's been a rough week for me, with a lot of stress at work and a lot of stress outside of work. And also had to take a Saturday shift, even though I didn't want to take a Saturday shift, but I did it. It ended up being not bad at all, but I was just so tired. Honestly, to be truth, I felt better yesterday than I thought I would. Friday and Thursday was not very fun. Oh, they were tough. What did I want to say? So I kind of made a Houdini yesterday. I mean, I have so many messages on my phone that I have not answered because I'm like, it's not gonna happen. Not today. I might message them later. One of the things I want to do was that I just wanted to get this episode kind of out of the way, and then was like, okay, then I can message them. Then I'd be like, okay, I can give you 5 minutes of my time. But I think the reason why is that my social gene was so exhausted. I was like, I just need time for myself today with no disturbance. And the beautiful thing is that I actually have time today. I have things to do. I have that every day, but I have time to do them today. I have not had that for so many weeks because of work and because of all the things I had to do outside of work. And it was just like, you know, a burden being lifted from my shoulders today. I was like, oh, I have time. I don't have to stress with the things I have to do. I can just take my time and do it in the tempo that I want to do. And that feels good. Not gonna lie. So it also became quite clear to me that I have to also make sure to get time to just have time to do things instead of just rushing through everything, because I don't have the time to do it, but I have to do the things. So yeah, it's been quite a day today. It's not, I mean, it's been a weird today. It's been a weird day today. But going back to the topic of the episode, I'm a bit off topic today as well, is that I think that my limiting belief comes down to that episode back in 7th or 8th grade, or episode, that period rather, because I have thought about it before and couldn't really see where else it would come from. I mean, I've always had low self-esteem in my childhood, not because I have any episodes connected to that, but I just feel like it has been the same, that there has been a lot of things always to just kind of making that proof to my limiting belief that I am not interesting and I am not worthy of any time and stuff like that. Um, and I know that's not true anymore. But now I'm like, man, the things I do, nobody wants to listen to that or talk with me at that because no one thinks it cool what I do. So another limiting belief in a new shape of what it used to be, I guess. So I think the things I do and the things I enjoy are interesting, but I have the feeling or this belief that other people will not find it interesting. What I find interesting. So it's limiting belief upon limiting belief, but I know that the beginning of curing a limiting belief is to be aware of it, and I am aware of it, and need to have experiences where I can see that it's not true, this belief, and also knowing myself or keep reminding myself about that is not true, because I do know it's not true. But then again, maybe not deep down. Because when I'm just working. I don't care about anyone. I mean, I recently or a month ago started working in a gym, a fitness gym, as a employee who cleans and help members with their problems with their memberships and so on. And I have gotten pretty, what you say, I've gotten pretty into, the routines of it, pretty much now, and it's going actually pretty great. So I just do my thing, do my work, and I know that people look at me, they're like, man, he's just cleaning all the time. What the hell he's doing? But I don't care about what they think, and that's a major step for me, that I can just go around, do my thing, and have people look at me. It doesn't matter. I am not bothered by it. That I'm not bothered by anymore. People looking at me. And I mean, I have this feeling, what might they think? not not that I'm like guessing or bothering about what they think, but I'm like, me just cleaning in all these weird positions, doing all these weird things I do, cleaning mirrors, machines, um, treadmills, and so on. People must be like, man, what's he doing? But it's fine for me. I like it. I really enjoy it. I think it's super fun. I really enjoy having a physical work more than I thought I would, and that's quite nice. So I work out, and then I work 5 to 8 hours a shift a day, I should say, and then I go home 5 to 6 days a week. And I'm tired, not gonna lie, but it's cool. I like it. I really enjoy it. I learned so much, so much. It's crazy. I mean, I learned much about cleaning. It's not like it's a difficult work, but I learned much about myself, about my own limits, limits, my own beliefs, and also about what I can do, and also learning to socialize, because I talk with a lot of members. I need to, or not need to, but people talk to me, I talk to them, and then the same people come and we talk, and it's nice. I like it. It's great. It's cool. It's good for me after my longer lasting concussion to come out and meet people and do something meaningful, and I enjoy it more than I actually thought. I knew I was like this. I want to try it. I want to try and see what it is, and I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would. So that's cool. I really like it. So it's not that it's everything's bad. It's not. But I was just, thinking a bit today, and knowing I have these beliefs, I mean, I am starting to opening more up, which is, also a thing with this podcast, that I'm opening more about myself, and I would like to opening up more, to share more, because I think that's pretty strong. And also, I've heard saying that vulnerability is really, really strong, it's really powerful. And if you can do it, people will really respect that. because not everyone can do that, opening up about themselves. So it's like three things that is connected, which is honesty, openness, and vulnerability. And I aspire to have these three things because I think it's cool. And I think you should be honest to yourself and to others. Not all the time. I mean, the goal would be all the time, but I guess that's a lifelong goal to be honest all the time, because I talked with this actually with my manager pretty recently, where we talked about both being very open or trying, or she is very open, and I have become better at being open, and I'm also quite open with her. And we talked about it, and she was like, yeah, but you can really hurt some people with being open. And I was like, yeah, you can, but that's just them not being able to handle the truth. In fact, that's nothing with you. You're just telling them the truth. And if they get mad, it's them not being able to handle the truth. And I have been struggling with it a lot, with this a lot for some time, where I want to tell people the truth, but I don't do it because I know it's going to hurt them and hurt their feelings. So I just kept my mouth shut. Because I've also learned that if you don't have nothing nice to say, you should not say it. So that's my manners holding me back for not telling the truth, where I know it would benefit those people to tell them the truth, even though I don't do it. But that's on them. That's not on me, thankfully. I have my own shit to deal with, as you can hear. And if you think I'm making this up, I'm sorry to say I'm not. This is actually the open and real I have been since I started this podcast. And I also feel that I am more relaxed talking about it. The other times I've been more like trying to get this facade up and being, cool and so on. But today I was not feeling it today. So I was like, okay, why not just talk about what I want to talk about, what is on my mind at the moment, and come out with it as the way I feel. And I feel better now, having talked about it for a little over 20 minutes, compared to before, where I was just caught up in my mind. So that's pretty nice. I like it. It's pretty cool. I hope you like it too. I feel like there's something more I would like to say, but now I forgot. So I just guess no. Yeah, that was about my flaws. Because I've also lately been like, what are my flaws in truth? And maybe I should try and explore that a little bit more. That could be quite fun because I know my strengths. I mean, I know them: discipline, planning, and I can't remember the word for some of the others. But it's not fun talking about strength, bragging about them. It's not fun. It's actually more fun to deeping down into the flaws, because I feel like I'm not so experienced. I know I tend to be jealous. I tend to be stubborn. And I tend to be unavailable emotionally, which might have something to do with the things that we talked about. And then I've also realized that I'm kind of judgy as well, which I hate about myself. But it's true. I am. And at least I am good at keeping it inside, not speaking it out loud. And I don't know how to change it, because that's a thing I would like to become less judgy. And I mean, there's other flaws as well, I know, but I might have to dig into them, maybe talk about them in an episode. That could be quite fun, actually, because honestly, I don't care I want to open up and to get myself out there and see how people respond. That could be pretty fun. Not, in the essence of getting a response. That's not why I would like to do it, but just to share myself. At least that's what I want now. who knows later down the line. And it's funny. I have researched something about a podcast when I was about to start it, and also started listening to some different podcasts where people are like, man, you should be keeping all the time. You should be up to this and this and this and this. Where I just found that I listened to a podcast which called Modern Wisdom by Chris Williamson, if I remember correctly. That's his name, where he actually doesn't, or his team doesn't edit the episodes. He has an interview podcast where he interview other people about, philosophies and such things, modern philosophies about work and dating, and so it's pretty interesting. Not everything is interesting, but it's kind of cool. And they don't edit, so the pauses that are in there, the pauses that are in the conversation are in the episode as well. And I think that's pretty cool, to not have it being perfect all the time. And I have been talking about this for too long. Not gonna lie. But there was also another point I would like to touch upon, which I remembered, which was that I don't think it's not only a limiting belief because of the things I talked about earlier in this episode. Not only a limiting belief because of experiences. I also think that it has something to do with my personality in truth, because as I mentioned, I am more introverted than extroverted, so I like spending time alone. And also, as I think, as a Taurus, my zodiac sign, I am also more. No, I don't know how I can couple that up. Actually, that was more like with the romance stuff. Taurus is kind of like the love of his life, or the love of your life. There's only one, or at least there's few. The Taurus is not the one who goes from partner to partner every time, or going out. The Taurus is there's only one. And I think that might be the reason too, also why I didn't ask her out, because she was pretty, but I was like, I didn't have the rights, or maybe I just wasn't in the right mood. That could also be the thing. But then there's the last thing, which is also about some of the introverted, that I am the INTJ of the Myers-Briggs personality types, which is also called the architect. And the architect is a planner, is an organizer, one who is trying to optimize and putting puzzles together and pieces where they can fit and so on. And I really, really resonates with that a lot. It's crazy how much I resonate with it. But the thing with the architect is that when it comes to, I cannot remember if it's every social experiences or if it's only romantic. I think it's only romantic. The architect is like blind to it. Apparently the architect doesn't see or recognize, flirting, or doesn't know flirting banter, and so is just completely blindfolded to it, which it's not always I resonate with it, but I do resonate with it, where after, or at least I can see it, sometimes I can see it afterwards, where I'm like, she was interested. Yeah, she was. Why didn't I ask her out? It's like, it's so stupid. But I think that might be just the combination of who I am as a person that makes me sometimes just really, really dumb in romantic situations, also with my ex-girlfriend. I mean, some of the things I've done and didn't see it, I was like, oh, that's so stupid. Because I always have this like, what about if I you know, can't remember. If I mess it up, what if I mess it up? What then? I always have that one. And I don't like messing things up, which is not good because I should be messing things up. That's how I learn. But I have talked too much about myself in this video. I hope you found it interesting. I think it was pretty fun. I don't know if you can learn anything from it. Maybe you can. Maybe you can resonate with some of the things I talked about. I mean, that would be pretty cool. In honesty. So I think I'm just gonna end it. I'm also a bit tired now. I'm gonna have something to eat, I guess. So if you liked it, please let me know. I can see that there are people starting out to watch the episode, listening to it, and that's kind of cool. I like that. So please write to me, make a comment, anything. If there's something you have to say, if you like it, if you didn't like it. I actually also got my first negative comment, which I was like, first I was like, oh man, that's not fun. But then I was like, oh, that's an achievement. That's mean I made it. Mom, I made it. And I mean, sorry, that was a bit too much. But I was like, man, I couldn't bother. What he says, he doesn't understand it at all. So it doesn't matter. But with that, I really want to hear from you. In truth, I would like to, if you are out there, if you are listening, please connect with me. Make a comment. Write to me. I would love to hear from you. Your experiences, if you have something you want to say about me, about the things I talk about, maybe potential things I will talk about, I would love to. Really, just hit me up. And with that, I would end this episode, and I'll see you in the next one.